الحمد لله وكفى والصلاة والسلام على المصطفى وآله وصحبه ومن اتقى. All praise belongs to Allah, and that's enough for a person to understand. And the salatu wassalam be on the best of those sent, Al-Mustafa, the chosen one, the Prophet Muhammad, his companions, and those that follow him to the last day. And may Allah make us amongst them. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. This is Abu Taubah speaking to you again from Seminole County and prison. And today, alhamdulillah, I want to talk to you. We're still going through the route. I know a lot of people have written me, and some people are making comments on the internet about the issue of Allah cursing in the Quran. And some people are thinking that I have gone crazy and said something atrocious about Allah. The thing that you have to understand is that the route to Tafseer, first of all, Tafseer of the Quran is an explanation of the words and the meanings in the Quran and the stories behind the revelation, and there's a route to go through when someone is bringing a Tafseer. First and foremost, they have to be thorough in the Arabic language. They have, and I say thorough here, I don't mean that they can speak Arabic and this type of thing. What I mean is the 13 sciences of Arabic, they have to have fulfilled the obligatory sciences in that regard to the point of proficiency. Well, know their fiqh, the basic fiqh according to the madhahib and according to the hadith, which is 2 parts. And then also be familiar with the usul of tafsir in this regard. And we have done this. I've shown this and through ijazah. And ijazah, there's a few things that's going on in the Muslim world today. One of the things that's going on, there's this statement where people are going around saying, Al-Isnadu Deen. And this Isnad is Deen. Al-Isnad, following the chain of narration, is part of the Deen. You can't just come up and say anything out your mouth without saying, who told you that? Where did you get that from? And this is something that we say. But then when someone says, okay, I have an ijazah, which is an Isnad. Al-Ijazah is Isnad, meaning that a person can stand up and say, I am a talib al-ilm. And then if they say they're a talib al-ilm, or they say that they're an imam, and they say that they're a speaker, and they start speaking, you say, well, who said that you're a talib al-ilm? Who told you that you have the right, who gave you permission to teach? Well, I want to teach you aqidah. I want to teach you tafsir. Do you have a letter, or do you have a statement from any scholar that is living or dead that has given you the permission and said that you represent what he knows to be a scholar or at least a student or a teacher of this particular science? And if you don't have this ijazah or this isnad, then you should shut your mouth. Okay? That's one thing. And so we find a lot of people who claim to be Salafi. Now, we all claim to be Salafi. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. But I'm talking about the bully Salafi brothers who say, okay, ijazah, who needs an ijazah? And they minimize, and they try to say, ijazah is not, anybody can get it. If anybody can get it, why don't you have one? If anybody can get it, why don't you have one? And if you don't have one, then who has qualified you to speak about the mistakes or something that you assume to be a mistake of somebody else? And we know I don't know is half of knowledge. And I'm not saying that people don't make mistakes that have ijazah, and I'm not saying that people that don't have ijazah don't make things correct, don't say some things that are correct. But the point I'm trying to make here is that there is an oxymoronic idea going out here, a contradictory mentality going out there, saying when we say that isnad is the deen, and then the person who has isnad, you say, oh, it's no big deal, you don't need that. And the people that are talking are the ones that don't have the isnad. Come on, you need to open your eyes, people, and grow up. I'm talking about the people here, not the people that are talking, the people that are listening. You're listening to people and they say, watch who you take your deen from. Yes, wallahi, watch who you take your deen from. Make sure the person you're taking your deen from has ijazah. As for me, alhamdulillah, I'm not trying to brag, but just because the point has to be made, I have ijazah in tafsir. So I'm not coming to you with a tafsir that's out my back pocket. I have ijazah in the language. I have ijazah in aqidah, in these particular things. From Sheikh Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab and his grandson coming on down between me and Sheikh ibn Abdul Wahhab, rahimahullah, there's only 4 people. Are the people who are talking to you and claiming that they're Salafis, but actually being bullies and telling you all these contradictory things, do they have ijazah? And if you ask them for their isnad, can someone, which sheikh that they claim they are attached to, has given them the word? Let's see it on paper. And And if they don't, then they should shut their mouths and you should shut your ears. And you should watch who you take your deen from. Because as I said, al-isnadu deen. And if it wasn't for the isnad, then anybody can say anything he wants. For example, we have to look again at the objectives of the speaker. Are the people out there trying to unify, or are they trying to divide? If they're trying to unify and bring the people together, then this person is on the haqq. This person is following the sunnah. If they're trying to divide, then this person is a devil, because Islam does not divide people. How was the Prophet ﷺ with his family that were non-Muslims? Was he divisive? No. He was so unificating with them that even though they were non-Muslims, they all went out with him during the time when they had to got boycotted. His non-Muslim relatives still supported him in that way. And so the Prophet ﷺ was with his non-Muslim relatives in a time where all the rest of the kuffar were against the Muslims. That's how unified he was with non-Muslims. How much so with the believers? Wallahi, I say it over and over again. The Muslims treat the Muslims worse than the Bloods treat the Crips. And some people have come to Islam now, and they're bringing this ghetto mentality, this ignorant nigger nonsense into Islam, to the point so much that if you disagree with someone, all you're going to do is bring hate into the community and spread this hate between one brother and another. Where do people get off with this? This is not Islam. Next thing we want to know is if they're spreading unity or eliminating doubts or spreading doubts. If the person is trying to eliminate doubts, then he's giving you a principle. I'll give you a principle through which you can use without being attached to any particular group. Because knowledge means, in Arabic, al-ilm means that you made something clear. You left no doubt. Al-ilm huna. هو معرفة الشيء كما هو في الواقع بدون الشك ولا ريب. It means to know something and to recognize something the way it is in reality without any doubt or anxiety with regards to that particular thing. So if someone's going to give you some knowledge, they're going to spread something to you so that you can understand it without having to be attached to a particular group. What we see now is there's a lot of buffoonery when someone makes a statement. Instead of listening to the statement and thinking about it, based on knowledge and saying, what do I know about this thing to be true and what do I don't know about this thing to be true, which is the statement of Sheikh Al-Albani. He said knowledge is the thing that makes you know when a statement is praiseworthy or depraiseworthy. We look around. You see these people? They look around and see who else is smiling. If everybody else is smiling, they smile. If everybody else is saying no, then they say no. This is not knowledge. This is what we call hizbiyya. Now, I'm using a term that everybody's running around with using every day, and I want to clarify it for more clarity. Hizbi. A hizbi is somebody who is in a clique. A hizbi is somebody who is a bigot. He only takes information from one particular source, and he rejects information from anybody else because they're not in their crew. They're not looking like them, walking like them, talking like them, or being a particular zombie. Islam does not mean you have to be a zombie. There are parentheses, there are perimeters, I should say, in Islam. And you can be anywhere within those hudud. That's what hudud means. The perimeters, one right to the left. You have all this room in between. It doesn't make you a good Muslim to walk around with a bald head and a Caesar because you're black, so you can wear kufi. In fact, this is from the Sawaf. And people don't really realize that. It's actually from the Sunnah to keep your hair long. That's from the Sunnah. But we do these particular things thinking this is Islam. It's not Islam. It's not from the Sunnah that everybody has to look like everybody else. You don't have to wear a white thobe, but it is a good thing to wear a white thobe. It's not bad to wear a white thobe. It is from the Sunnah to cover your face. But if you don't cover your face wearing niqab, it does not make you a bad Muslim. Because the face and the hands are allowed. We do not all have to look the same or act the same or have the exact same ideas. And there are some places where we find in the Sunnah where even the Sahaba differed on particular issues. The point is that you try. وَمَا أُمِرُوا إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُ اللَّهَ مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ الدِّينَ. Is that you try the best that you can. Of course, you have to follow the Sunnah. Literally, you have to follow the Sunnah. You can't reject the Sunnah. It's clear to you. But is the person wrong if he rejects you when you come to him and tell him, this is from the Sunnah, you're doing something wrong. You're doing something wrong. Now, we're talking about bid'ah and al-mubtadi'. Bid'ah is when you do something that opposes the Sunnah. Okay? It opposes the Sunnah. It's wrong. However, does everybody that does something that opposes the Sunnah, are they a mubtadi'? No. Al-mubtadi' is someone who rejects the Sunnah and makes his own way despite knowing the difference. Now you say, but I told him I went up to so-and-so and I told him, that's not from the Sunnah. What you doing is haram. And I gave him the dalil. I told him that Sheikh so-and-so said this, that, and everything. Allah says this in the Quran, and Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam says such and such and so-and-so. So what? It doesn't mean that person has to listen to you. If you study the fundamentals of fiqh, if you go up to a person and tell him something that he understands to be correct and you tell him that it's wrong, he doesn't have to listen to you. Who are you? Are you stronger than the dalil he has? If his sheikh told him something else, and his sheikh he knows to have some knowledge, and you don't know him, and he doesn't know you to have any knowledge, he has no right to follow you. He is obliged to follow the one that he trusts better. So the rule comes here first. We don't care how much you know until we know how much you care. So a da'wah to that person has to first be to his heart. The da'wah has to show that person that you care about him. Not that if he doesn't accept your statement, you're going to start hating on him, you're going to pull a gun out and shoot him, or he's going to be like a blood and you're going to be like a crip. You're going to be fighting him and disrespecting him. Now you disrespect him, he can care less what you say, whether you right or wrong, because you disrespected his honor. And a Muslim's honor is just as haram as his blood, just as haram as his property. Arduhu haram, wa damuhu haram, nafsul kalima. It's in the same statement the Prophet ﷺ said that his honor is forbidden for you, just like his blood is forbidden for you. So people need to think about this. If you say you're following the Sunnah, if you say you want to practice Islam, then what you should do is first seek to let the people know how much you care about them. If they realize that you actually have a concern about them, then they will listen to you. Then they will listen to you, they will like you. As we have the famous hadith where one of the Sahaba, he said, there was a time where there was no one that I hated more than the Prophet Muhammad, and no land I hated more than the Prophet Muhammad, and no deen or religion that I hated more than the religion and the deen of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But he kept giving me and giving me and giving, being generous and kind to him. So finally, there was no one that I loved more than the Prophet Muhammad, no person I would rather be around in the land I would rather be in than the land and the person of the Prophet Muhammad, and no deen I would rather be a part of than the deen and the religion of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. هذه صلافية الدعوة السلفية. This is the way a Salaf is supposed to be. This is the way the da'wah of the Salafiyya is supposed to be. And we have many, many statements that come from modern scholars and the ones in the past. You know, we have Sheikh Rabi'a saying not too long ago that if the Muslims who are following the Sunnah were doing their jobs perfectly and properly, you would find so many people who are following the Tasawwuf incorrectly, doing these particular things that are wrong. You'll find so much of them joining and entering into the Sunnah. This is what the Shaykh said, hafidhahullah. Why? Because when you see us going out and giving da'wah and doing it properly, people can't.
1 minute remaining.
People can't help but love that. Islam is perfect. It's the best way. All you have to do is present it in the proper way. Let us take the time and stop spreading divisiveness and division amongst the community. Stop spreading hate amongst each other and start spreading good. The Prophet ﷺ said you won't have love, you won't have iman until you love each other, and you won't love each other until I'm sorry. And he said, shall I give you something that'll make you love each other? And he said, Afshu bainakum as-salam. Spread the salams amongst yourselves. Okay? Go around and give the salam sincerely. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.